Let me tell you the fastest way to know you're finally doing something real. It's not a paycheck. It's not a glow up. It's not even that I'm booked and busy calendar that looks like Tetris on hard mode. It's this. Somebody, somewhere, starts preying on your downfall like it's a part-time job with benefits. If nobody has ever doubted you, mocked you, or quietly hoped you'd crash and burn, you probably haven't stepped out of the safe little kiddie pool of life. And the second you do, people start throwing rocks at the splash. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how wealthy people deal with haters and why most people self-destruct the moment criticism shows up. Spoiler. Rich people don't avoid haters. They recycle them, like aluminum cans, into momentum. Quick question. Have you ever posted something exciting, started something new, or made one bold move and suddenly a random cousin, coworker, or comment section philosopher appears? They don't say congrats. They say, "Is that even realistic? Be careful, just saying. Must be nice. That's not going to work." And you're sitting there like, "I didn't know you were the CEO of Doubt Incorporated." Here's what you're about to learn. Haters aren't a stop sign. They're a speed bump that proves you're on a road that actually goes somewhere. Let's break it down, Biscuits style. First difference between broke thinking and wealthy thinking. Average people are shocked by haters. Wealthy people expect them. The moment you leave the crowd, you become visible, and visibility attracts commentary the way porch lights attract bugs. If you're doing what everybody else is doing, nobody has strong opinions. Your background music. But start building something, improving your life, getting disciplined, leveling up mentally or financially. Now you're the main character on a screen people didn't ask to watch. And they start live reviewing your decisions like they're film critics. Wealthy people don't interpret this as a sign they're doing something wrong. They interpret it as friction. And friction only happens when something is moving. No motion, no friction. No ambition, no resistance. No growth, no noise. If the hate shows up, they mentally check a box. Yep, this is real. Now, here's where most people fumble the bag emotionally. Someone throws shade and they immediately sprint to the comments like it's an emergency room. They type paragraphs, they justify, they defend. They try to convince people who weren't confused. They were committed. Let me put it bluntly. Defensiveness is a tax, and broke energy loves taxes. Because the second you defend yourself, you accidentally tell the world, "I need your permission to keep going." And once you need permission, you gave away leverage. Wealthy people budget attention like money. They don't spend it on arguments that pay zero dividends. Also, here's a truth that will save you years. You can't logic someone out of a belief they didn't logic themselves into. Some people don't want clarity. They want comfort. They want the story where you fail so they don't have to question why they never tried. So wealthy people do something revolutionary. Ready? They go quiet. They let their progress talk. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is a vault. Now, here's where rich people quietly separate from everyone else. Most people hear hate and ask, "Why are they attacking me?" Wealthy people hear hate and ask, "What fear did I just touch?" Because criticism usually isn't random. It clusters around uncertainty and insecurity. So when someone says, "That won't work," they're often revealing their tolerance for risk, not the reality of your plan. When someone says, "That's unrealistic," They're showing you their ceiling. When someone says, "You just got lucky," they're protecting an identity where they never have to try. So wealthy people listen for patterns. What type of people are reacting? What are they afraid of losing? What assumption do they keep repeating? That's free market research. Hate is like static on a radio. Most people turn the radio off. Wealthy people tune the dial and go, "Oh, so this is the frequency of fear." And if something triggers fear, it usually has upside. That's where the money lives. By the way, I'm Biscuits J. If you're building your way to financial freedom, hit subscribe and go to jetsetwealthstyle.com to buy the book and for more money motivational content and useful financial tools. Now, let's get back to it. This part makes sensitive people clutch their pearls, but we're here to get paid and peaceful, so listen. Wealthy people understand attention doesn't care about your feelings. It cares about movement. A hater arguing under your post? Engagement. Someone mocking you? Curiosity. A comment thread turning into a mini war? Reach you didn't pay for. And here's the funny part. Algorithms don't read the room. They don't go, "Ooh, that comment was rude." They go, "Wow, activity, boost it." So wealthy people don't panic and start cleaning the comments like they're scrubbing a public bathroom. They let the noise amplify the signal. Friction creates heat. Heat attracts eyes. And once eyes are on you, you get to decide what they see next. That's power. Here's the mental shift that makes hate stop hurting. Wealthy people recognize hate is usually a confession. A confession of fear, a confession of regret, a confession of identity protection. When someone says, "Must be nice to have time for that," what they often mean is, "I chose comfort and your effort reminds me." When someone says, "You're obsessed with money," what they may mean is, "I was taught money is bad because I don't know how to get it." When someone says, "That's not realistic for people like us," they're defending the belief that their limits are universal. People don't attack strangers. They attack mirrors. Your progress reflects a version of themselves they didn't become. Your discipline highlights choices they didn't make. Your momentum exposes how long they've been standing still. So wealthy people don't absorb that energy. They relabel it, not as truth, as pressure leaking out. Now let's talk about the real wealth flex. It's not a designer bag. It's not a car. It's not "my accountant will handle it." It's emotional neutrality. Wealthy people don't win by being louder. They win by being calmer. Because emotional spikes cost focus. Arguments cost momentum. Spirals cost time. And time is the only currency you never get a refund on. So they practice control, observe without absorbing. Hate comes in, they note it, keep moving. Praise comes in, they don't get drunk on it either, because praise can make you comfortable, and comfort kills urgency. Wealth compounds through consistency. Consistency requires emotional stability. When strangers can't hijack your mood, they can't hijack your behavior. This one is the cleanest weapon in the whole toolkit. Wealthy people don't debate the plan. They don't announce the strategy. They don't argue the vision. They execute. Because words create opinions. Results end conversations. You can debate an idea forever. You can't debate outcomes. So while other people are typing dissertations in comment sections, wealthy people are stacking proof quietly. And when the results show up, the critics magically develop a new hobby. The doubters go silent. And the same people who questioned you start acting like they believed in you all along. Wealthy people don't even correct the record because the goal wasn't to win an argument. It was to win freedom. Here's what most people don't anticipate. Even after you win, the hate doesn't vanish. It evolves. Early hate is loud and sloppy. That's dumb. You'll fail. Who do you think you are? Later hate gets a blazer and a clipboard. Now it sounds like concern. Have you thought about the risks? Is this sustainable? Are you sure this isn't just a phase? Wealthy people recognize it instantly. Criticism evolves because threat perception evolves. First, you're irrelevant. Then, you're annoying. Then, you're interesting. Then, you're competition. And nobody studies people who don't matter. So they don't take upgraded hate personally. They take it as confirmation they entered a new bracket. Then they tighten systems, clean up execution, increase precision. Not out of fear, but because higher levels demand cleaner moves. And here's the plot twist. Some haters become imitators, some become observers, and a few become customers. That's why wealthy people don't scorch the earth. They let time do the sorting. This is the level most people never reach. At this point, hate isn't emotional. It's directional. Wealthy people stop asking, how do I avoid hate? And start asking, why does this make people uncomfortable? Because discomfort is information. If an idea triggers strong reactions, it usually challenges an assumption people rely on to stay comfortable. No reaction usually means you're playing safe. Safe is quiet. Quiet is invisible. Invisible is broke. So when criticism shows up consistently around a message, product, or move, they don't retreat. They investigate. Who's reacting? What are they protecting? What belief is being threatened? Hate often points directly to the edge of the comfort zone, and the edge is where growth lives. They refine the message without softening the truth. They sharpen execution without diluting the vision. If nobody pushes back, they know they're not being bold enough. Here's the truth nobody says out loud. You don't get rich despite haters. You get rich because you outgrow the need to care. When you stop seeking approval, you start building power. When you stop explaining, you start executing. When you stop reacting, you start winning. If this hit you, comment focused so I know you're playing the long game. And listen, once you stop caring about haters, the next problem shows up. The everyday habits that quietly sabotage your wealth before it even has a chance to compound. So in the next video, I'm breaking down financial literacy that schools never taught you to increase your chances of getting rich, even if you're working hard. Click the video on the screen, and I'll see you in there. I'm Biscuits J. Stay focused, stay paid, and let your money do the heavy lifting. Like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who needs it. Go to jetsetwealthstyle.com to buy the book and for more money motivational content and useful financial tools. See you in the next one.